Batman Arkham City. There is not enough good I could talk to you guys about this game. This game is extremely fantastic and regarded by a lot of people as the greatest Batman game in the entire franchise and the greatest Batman game to ever exist. And considering the fact the game is 13 years old, I would say that's a pretty damn good achievement to still hold the title as the greatest Batman Arkham game ever. Greatest Batman game in general. But what made this game so great? Because there's a lot of things that this game did extremely well. There are things that sequels improved on after this game, and there's things that this game improved on from Batman Arkham Asylum. So there's a lot here to talk about in terms of whatever we think Batman Arkham City did best. But remember, guys, these are just my opinions. Leave a comment down below if I forgot anything, because I'm sure there might be a couple things I missed. And also, this is just my opinion, so please do not go after me and come after my family. So, without wasting too much of your time, let's get into it. The first thing that this game did better than any game in the Batman Arkham franchise is established territories. Now, what I mean by that is there were 3 specific areas on the map in this game, and when you enter one territory, it's Joker. You go into another one, it's Two-Face, and you go into another one, and it's Penguin. You knew where you were on the map at all times. You could tell that you were in Joker's territory. You know, you could see all of, you know, the Joker stuff, the fun stuff, the clown stuff, you could call it, on the buildings. Almost like graffiti in a way. You could tell that when you go towards the church, for example, when you're in Two-Face's territory, it's half and half, just like Two-Face. Same thing with Penguin. I don't need to explain that to you in heavy detail. But I thought this is a really good addition in this game, especially considering going forward, we didn't really see as much of this, if any of it at all. I love the fact that we knew whose territory we were going into, and we knew whose thugs we were going to be dealing with. The next thing that this game did better than any other game is a bit tricky to explain, and I want you guys to bear with me here for a minute. But I thought that the combat brutality in this game was better than any of the other games, by far. Especially considering when you're playing as Batman in Batman Arkham City, it's hard to explain, but just visualize it. Whenever you, would throw a punch with Batman, you could feel the brutality in that punch. Like, Arkham Knight felt more like you were, an artist. Like, you were doing things really pretty, and things looked really cool, and you were putting on a pizzazz show. Batman Arkham Origins kind of felt just a little bit less brutal. Even though Batman was more vicious in that game, his punches didn't have that oomph that he had in Batman Arkham City, as well as the combat flowed better in City than it did in Asylum. So I could feel that, like I said, I could feel that oomph when you're actually, throwing strikes at these goons as Batman. Compared to the other games, it just didn't feel like it had that snap. It didn't feel like Batman wanted it as much. It felt like that this was Batman when he was at its peak. The next thing that this game did best, and this is one that I'm very, very, going to put emphasis on, and that is Batman felt like he had the most sense of urgency in this game compared to any other game, right? And there's 2 simple reasons for that. First of all, in the obvious one, Batman is on a ticking clock. He is poisoned with Joker's blood and needs to get a cure now before he dies. Because in the other games, it's usually like someone's been kidnapped or I need to stop this goon. But in this case, we're actually trying to save our own life. We're trying to have some self-preservation here. Whereas in the other games, Batman's not as worried about his own well-being. So it's not really as much of a sense of urgency as when it comes to yourself. As well as you have a guy in Hugo Strange who is constantly reminding you that Protocol 10 is going to start in X amount of hours. So you need to hurry so that you can save yourself, get your cure, as well as stop Hugo Strange before he starts Protocol 10. And at the time, we don't know what Protocol 10 is. It could have just been him bombing the entire Arkham City, which was essentially what it was anyway. And the obvious thing is that if we don't have Batman alive to stop Hugo Strange, to, get the cure and save the Joker, as well as stop the Joker in one fell sequence, then there is no game. There is no saving Arkham. There is no saving Gotham. There is no stopping these super criminals. Once Batman is dead, that is it. It is over. These criminals will reign over Arkham, will reign over Gotham, like there's no tomorrow. The next thing I think that this game is better at than any of the games is actually just the replayability. This game, honestly, in my opinion, is the one I find myself coming back to the most to replay it. For whatever reason, honestly, I couldn't even tell you as to why. But I think that, it's not just the campaign, but I think that it has something to do with that the game's simple enough to where it doesn't feel overcomplicated, like there's too much going on at one time. You know, Batman Arkham City, whether it's a side missions, they're pretty simple and pretty basic. And I don't mean basic in a bad way. But what I mean is, like, Batman Arkham Knight is another one I'd go to for replayability purposes. But sometimes if I don't want to deal with a lot at once, because there's a lot of content to go through in Batman Arkham Knight, and if I'm looking to just do as much as possible in one sitting, then maybe I'll turn to Batman Arkham Knight. But if I just want to have a nice, relaxing session, then generally Batman Arkham City is the one I will turn to, because the campaign isn't super, super long. I can run through that in probably 3 hours, 2.5 hours, if I'm really trying. As well as, you know, the side missions, you know, say Bane's side mission or the Hush side mission, the political prisoners. They're all pretty simple, and they're all pretty fun, and they still make you feel like Batman. So I would say that this game has the best replayability, just because of how relaxing it is, and how fun of a time I can have sitting there playing with Batman. The last thing I have for today's video, drum roll please, that would be the overall ending to a story mode. This game, in my opinion, did the best ending. If you compare it to, like, Batman Arkham Asylum, yeah, we stopped the Joker. Batman Arkham Origins, yeah, we stopped the Joker. Oh, Batman Arkham Knight, we get our identity revealed. So you can argue that's the biggest ending because it ends the franchise. However, in my opinion, the best ending has to go to Batman Arkham City with Joker's death, because that has such an impact, right? Because nobody expected Joker to actually die, right? Joker's like the main antagonist. He can't die, right? The Joker can't die. It's the Joker we're talking about here. But, you know, the game did that to us to show us, hey, first of all, anybody can die, right? Anybody can die at any given time. Nobody is immortal unless you're Ra's al Ghul. But it also goes to show the end of an era, right? I think Joker's character arc, Batman's character arc kind of came in full circle here. It allows Batman to grow and move on. And I think this death does have very deep meaning, you know. And it's also kind of a mixed feeling, right? Because on one hand, it's a relief, like, finally the Joker's dead. Finally he can stop killing people. Finally he can stop causing all this chaos. But at the same time, it's like, I've been battling you for so long, and this is how it's gonna end. You're gonna die because you stabbed Batman in the shoulder and couldn't get your cure. Like, I don't know, it's kind of a mixed bag feeling for me. It's a bit sad, because as much as, you know, we want the Joker gone, it's sad that it's actually finally over now, even though we shouldn't be sad, but it's hard to deal with. It's a mixed feeling, but, you know, it really, that's because the game did an amazing job of making you feel like Batman, like I've stated before. So, of course, you're gonna, you know, you're not really gonna know how to feel about the Joker's death overall. And these are the things I think Batman Arkham City did best. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Did I miss anything, or anything you just want to add yourself? Thank you guys so much for watching. I just want to give a big shout out to those of you who do support this channel. I do very much appreciate every single one of you. And if you want to become a member today, click the join button right underneath this video. That does entail shout outs at the end of each video, early access to new videos, as well as your own personal videos that nobody else gets access to besides you. So if you want to join, make sure to click the join button today. As well as, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe for more content, and as always, thank you so much for everything, guys. I do appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you all have an amazing day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!